Okay, this one was a little bit different than problems that we've done. To begin with, finding x is actually pretty easy. You're given that it's a rectangle. And what we know about a rectangle is that the angles are right angles, but this doesn't have anything to do with angles. Well, we will in a second, but it doesn't to start off with. But we also know that the diagonals are congruent. And so we know that AC and BD are the same. Now, right off the bat, we don't know what AC is, but we do know what AE is, which means that AC is going to equal 14x plus 8, because a rectangle is also a parallelogram, which means that the diagonals bisect each other. So E is a midpoint, so multiplying AE by 2 gives you AC. And we said that it's a rectangle, so diagonals are congruent. So if AC equals 14x plus 8 and BD is 11x plus 7, then I can get 14x plus 8 equals 11x plus 17. And so 3x equals 9, so x equals 3. All right, that was pretty easy. Now we look at y, and we might get a little frustrated because what we notice is the 7y plus 2 and the 9y plus 4 are adjacent sides. And we know that opposite sides are the same length, but adjacent sides don't have any relationship in a rectangle. But it is a rectangle. And so that means that this is a right angle, which means that gives us a right triangle. And for a long time, we've learned about the Pythagorean Theorem. So we can apply the Pythagorean Theorem, especially because we know what x is. It's 3, which means that AC is going to be 14 times 3 plus 8, which is 50. And so that means we can do the Pythagorean Theorem that says 7y plus 2 squared plus 9y plus 4 squared equals 50 squared. So that gives me 49y squared. Remember, 7y plus 2 times 7y plus 2. So 2 times the product of the two things, 28y plus 4. And then 81y squared plus 72y, 36y times 2, plus 16 equals 2,500. Adding like terms, we get 81y squared plus 130y squared plus 100y. You get plus 20, subtract that, minus 2480 equals 0. Notice these all end in 0, and so we can divide through by 10 to get 13y squared plus 10y minus 248 equals 0. At this point, you can either use the the quadratic formula, or you can try to factor it. It turns out that it does factor nicely. You know that it would have to be 13y and y. We know that of these other numbers is going to have to be positive and the other negative. And it does turn out that 248 is 62 times 4. And 62 times 4, and it should be positive here, and then minus here. 64 times 13 is negative 52. 62y plus negative 52y gives you that positive 10y. This gives me a negative value for y, which I can't have on this one because that would give me a negative value for the side length AD. But if I plug in for this one, I can get y equals 4, a positive 4. Does that work? That gives you 30, 40, and 50, which is we know what's called a Pythagorean triple. And so it does turn out that x equals 3 and y equals